Hello there, folks. How are we doing? Wanted to quickly go through CP4. So CP4 is where you produce evidence of your website. So this is a really important one that we get right, because this is the only evidence that the examiners see of your actual site. So your screenshots need to be good and really clear so they can get a full appreciation of all the hard work that you've done. So the aim of P4 is to make sure that you have produced the website and you've done it kind of independently and it meets the basic criteria for a P task, which is that it's got multiple pages, it's got working navigation, you've got good use of images, videos, and any other media. You've got good examples of hyperlinks, both internal and external, and that you've got the use of CSS to create things like different layouts such as columns, and that the content meets the requirements of the client's initial sort of scope. So you need to make sure that the website that you're showing is actually good enough. So it needs to be really well laid out. Hopefully you've had lots of feedback in your testing, so you can make some improvements. So not only are you producing screenshot evidence, you need to sort of explain yourself. So explain the decisions you made whilst making those pages. You're going to show the improvements that were sort of highlighted during your usability testing. And you need to just basically show understanding. Just imagine that the examiner is kind of questioning you about why you did things, and you just need to make sure you explain to show a decent understanding of the web design principles that we've learnt. So there's an assignment brief, which is here, which you'll get in Google Classroom. And I've done A3 sheets because some people asked me to do A3 sheets for this as well. So I did them. So the A3 sheets are pretty much the same as the assignment brief, but it's a bit more of a visual guide. So make sure that you understand what you're doing. So basically in P4, you're going to break it firstly down into each of your pages. So you're going to have a heading for your home page, a heading for your, your progression page, your form. So for each page, you need to have a heading. And that will be one of the a subheading, basically, a heading style 2. So you start off with heading style 1, which is CP4, and then heading style 2s for your home page. Each of your pages, whatever they are called, if you did more than 4 pages, you carry on and do your whole site. You then have a heading for SEO. You then have one for accessibility, and then one for CSS. So we'll focus on the pages first of all, slightly different write-up to what you'll do here. So these 4, 5, 6, however many pages you've done, these write-ups are all the same. So you focus on one page at a time. So for each page, you are going to have the purpose, decisions you made about that page when you were planning, so in the design section, decisions you made during your development, which is when you're actually building it. You're going to show a screenshot of your page in the browser. This is where it needs to be full. You need to make sure you've got the header, the footer. If you think about it, you've already done this. I asked you to do this in Google Classroom last week. So those screenshots you've already created. So go back into Classroom and use the screenshots that you presented for me back then. And then you need to refer back to your usability testing. And this is where you're going to explain what you planned to improve. So if you remember in usability testing, your users, your testers would have given you some feedback, and then you planned what you were going to improve. So now is the time you're going to explain what you're going to improve as a result of that testing, and you're going to show, explain how the improved pages better meet the needs of your clients, the purpose and the audience. And then you're going to show a screenshot after you've made those improvements. Again, that screenshot is important. It needs to be able to read the text. We need to see the whole page, and it should look better than this one because you've made improvements to it. So the whole point is you show a development, that you've created something a little bit better as a result of testing. And then you show the HTML of that page. And I've got a little link there to show you how to wrap text in Atom to make that a little bit easier for you. So let's just look at that in the A3 sheets. So for me, it was the home page first, purpose of the page, the decisions I made during the planning phase. So I made the decision to, and then the decisions I made during development. Again, I made the decision to do this. So this shows it's okay to have changed your mind about stuff as you were building the site. So this is where you can add in why you've made changes. Why does your page look a little bit different to your plan in P2? So this is the first screenshot in full in the browser, and it's before those improvements. Then you go into an explanation of the improvements. As a result of using user testing, I am going to do this, this, and this, and then explain how that helps you meet the user requirements, the purpose, the audience, or whatever it is. You need to have a justification. Then you show the second screenshot. That's the same page after you've made those improvements in full, so I can read it, etc. And then the HTML in Atom as well, full page, the whole of your HTML, please. And then you do the same for the next page and the next page and the next page. So if you've only done 4 pages, as I recommended, this will mean you haven't got an awful lot of work. If you went ahead and planned to do 7 pages, you've got a little bit more work, but never mind. So you do all your pages first, following the same process all the way through. And then 3 shorter write-ups to finish off. You're going to write up your cascading style sheets. So you show understanding, first of all, of what CSS is. This is just to show the examiner that you haven't just followed along with what I've said. You actually do have an understanding of how websites work. And then how has that CSS helped you meet the needs of the client? So if you think back to your client's requirements, your user requirements, they may have talked about consistency, they may have talked about accessibility. So you try and explain how your CSS has helped you meet certain requirements. And then you show a screenshot of the CSS style sheet. For most of you, that will just be the one style sheet that you've created. It should only be one style sheet. If you've done multiple style sheets, you need to explain why, because I didn't recommend it, and you need to show all of them. So hopefully you followed the advice and just did one style sheet. So that's on here as well. Same thing. Screenshot of your entire style sheet. It needs to be from top to bottom, must be big enough to read. We still don't know if the exam board wants this as a PDF or printed. So it must be big enough to read in case they go crazy and want it printed. And then you write up accessibility, show understanding, explain how you have met the accessibility needs of your client and user requirements, and then show me at least 4 screenshots with captions of the things that you did to make your site accessible. Pretty simple stuff that we did: high contrast color schemes, sans serif fonts, alternative text. So show me 4 screenshots annotated to show that we have considered accessibility. Final part is to write up the search engine optimization. And if you remember, in P2, you planned what you were going to do. And at that point, I asked you to implement the SEO that you planned. So that's title tags, meta descriptions, keywords, etc. So all you're doing now is explaining how your SEO techniques helped you meet the client user requirements, and then show 3 screenshots basically of title tags that you used. Hopefully you have put title tags on each page, I hope. Meta descriptions should be on the home page, and keywords should be on your home page and in your H1 tags. A big A3 sheet says pretty much exactly the same, but slightly different format, because some people prefer it in that format. So my lovelies, that's P4, and that is part of your Easter homework. So I will set you a deadline on Google Classroom to get that one done. Really important, that is beautifully presented. No wrapping text. I'll say that again. No wrapping text. Everything in line with text, please. No wrapping text ever. Otherwise, you will have a nightmare when we move it into the main document. So CP4 will be on Classroom. Do it in the correct document. Get it done as soon as you can, because the sooner you do it, the sooner I can give you feedback. Let me know if you want me to give you feedback early or whatever. All right. And in the next video, we'll go through P6, which is the last P task. Woohoo! All right. Take care. Bye-bye.